Creationists have a lot of faulty arguments for young Earth. I'm going to go through some of them and tell you why they're stupid. First, there's carbon-14 in diamonds. That's a common point. Rate was an experiment done by the Institute for Creation Research to try to prove a young Earth through radioisotope dating, radiometric dating. They analyzed diamonds for carbon-14, which decays fairly quickly, so there shouldn't be much in it. The levels they found weren't much above background levels, and contamination was likely the cause for the radiocarbon presence in the first place. Ion source memory of the mass spectrometer was attributed to this finding. Rate also attempted to date Mount St. Helens, except they used potassium argon dating, which is the incorrect method to use, so they got wildly varying results. So they should have used a different dating method, and if they had, they would have gotten a more reasonable age and a more consistent age. The fact that their ages were wildly varying just shows that they used the wrong method. If it was really young, they would have come back with a young age. For example, Mount Vesuvius was dated within several years using the correct age, and of course Mount Vesuvius' eruption date was known. Another argument they use is soft tissue in dinosaur bones. This was discovered in 2005 in a T-Rex fossil. Basically, hemoglobin and sandstone was responsible for the preservation of some of that soft tissue. They did an experiment in the lab with two samples, one a control and one with hemoglobin in it. The one with hemoglobin lasted for 2 years. The one in the control sample didn't last. Another argument is the magnetic field is decaying on Earth. Well, it is in decline right now. Paleomagnetic evidence shows that it's been fluctuating throughout Earth's history. And we're about to go through a magnetic pole reversal in the next probably a few 100,000 years. And that's the reason it's on the decline, so to speak. Another argument is there are few supernova remnants visible in the galaxy, and there should be many more if the universe is old. The problem is that supernovas remnants may last for as little as 100,000 years before dissipating and becoming almost impossible to detect. But the fact that there are remnants at all indicates that old stars went through the process of supernova. So it doesn't make any sense for the universe to be 6,000 years old. Another common argument is there's too much salt going into the ocean and not enough processes to take it out, but they don't take into account the formation of diatomaceous earth takes salt out of the water and other processes too at about an equal rate as it's put in. So that doesn't really work. Also, if they were going by accumulation of minerals in the ocean, by the rate aluminum accumulates, the Earth should be less than 100 years old. But there are processes that take excess aluminum out of the ocean. And that's a point they don't often make, is the Earth is 100 years old. So, erosion. Old mountains are eroded flat, but new mountains are being pushed up by plate tectonics. And that's why everything isn't flat. And that's just a really easy one. Alright, Io and Pluto are too warm, is a common argument. Both of these are subject to tidal heating. Io is one of the 4 Galilean moons of Jupiter. It orbits the moon's orbit in a resonance. Io orbits 4 times for the time it takes Europa to orbit 3, for the time it takes Ganymede to orbit 2, for the time it takes Callisto to orbit 1. That puts enormous gravitational force on Io, especially, being the innermost. So it's incredibly volcanically active. The same goes for Pluto. Its moon Charon is very large and orbits in a way that produces a lot of friction internally. So that's why the surface of Pluto is relatively young. Helium and zircon crystals. Uranium and thorium produce helium through radioactive decay. So basically pressure and temperature are factors in helium, retention, and the system is not well understood, especially where the zircon was collected in the study the creationists did. Those are the main points they make. Hope this was informative. So anytime they make those points again, they don't really have a leg to stand on.